Thank you so much for joining us. Let's take this opportunity to talk about crime and public safety with a man who knows as much about it as anyone, or more than anyone here in the Boston area, and that would be WBZ security analyst Ed Davis, the former Boston police commissioner, now a successful security consultant as well as our analyst. Ed, welcome. Good to have you here.
Thank you, John. Always a pleasure.
So when you see the military deployed to the streets of L.A., most recently to D.C., and maybe they'll be coming to Boston soon, what goes through your mind?
Well, it's very disturbing on several different levels. First of all, the National Guard has been tremendous when they work with us in partnership. We work with them during the Boston Marathon, and they're great people. But they're not trained to do day-to-day police work. It takes a significant amount of training and experience to be able to do that successfully. And even with all that training and experience, we mess up a lot. But the potential for violence between the troops and the criminal element is very high. And the idea of having our military going head-to-head with our citizens is something I thought I'd never see in the United States. So this is rife with danger. And the other thing, John, is that I've been around politics enough to know that politicians are usually risk averse. They don't like to expand their risk profile. This is an area I work in day to day, so I understand it. The risk here of a bad incident happening, the mayor and I used to talk about this all the time. I had 2,200 men and women under arms in the city.
Mayor Menino, you're talking about.
Correct, yeah, back when I was a commissioner.
Yeah.
And, you know, we would talk about the danger there, the potential risk of incidents happening every single day. The president is taking this risk upon himself and his office, which is really a risky proposition.
They argue it's necessary. Is that true or false?
It's absolutely false. The crime rate has been dropping, and that just is a canard. It's not real. The numbers have been going down across American cities. We are not seeing the type of emergency that they're claiming is prevalent. And the other thing is, the police know how to do this. And if you really want to address crime in the cities, you can go back to look at the Clinton administration, who pumped money into the Justice Department so that local police departments could do the job better. Those are the kind of solutions that we need, not military troops.
Well, with regard to immigration issues in this country and the criminal aspect of some of that, a lot of money is being pumped into building up ICE. And $50,000 bonuses are being offered in some cases to new recruits. Mm-hmm. What do you know about and make of the buildup of ICE and the quality of the recruits?
It's hard to judge what the quality of the recruits is. Recruiting for any police job is difficult today, and so I can understand why they'd want to use a bonus. But they have to be very careful. The Miami Police Department had a surge in hiring back in the 90s and ended up lowering their standards. And as a result of that, they got corruption and brutality and terrible things happening in that police department. That's a lesson they should be looking at when they're hiring these new agents. We certainly need strong borders. I've always advocated for enforcement in that area, but what's happening with the snatching of people from the streets and the disguises and the no badges and no warrants. This isn't American law enforcement. I don't understand how this can happen in our country.
What is the model?
The model is what Sir Robert Peel said, which was the public of the police and the police of the public. It's all about community policing. That's what this country was built on.
What I meant is, what do you believe the model is for the administration with these masked guys? And some of them apparently are being hired right out of white supremacist groups.
Well, if that's happening, it's wrong and it needs to stop. And this is a barefaced grab for power and intimidation. I think that's the only way to describe this. I work in cities around the country where the crime rate is much more dangerous than it is in Washington, D.C. These are some cities in the South. None of those cities are being threatened with this type of activity. They're threatening Boston, they're threatening Washington, they're threatening Chicago. This is a political ploy. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah. You mentioned in our first segment that in most major cities, including Boston, crime data shows crime rates are down. In Boston, one area that isn't down, it's actually up compared with last year, is homicide. Why? What should Mayor Wu be doing differently, if anything?
Well, I think Michael Cox has been doing a great job in dealing with crime, and the mayor is very supportive of his strategies. And there are seasonal and yearly differences in the crime rate. It will bounce around in a particular area. So one year over another is not a good indicator of trends.
Okay.
But if you look at the trends, the numbers have dropped to almost unimaginable levels when you consider the size of the population here. Sometimes there'll be a spike because of gang activity or other issues that drive this thing, but the overall, if you look over a 10-year period, the numbers are looking really good.
Okay, same question. Let me flip it around. Why are we doing so well relatively?
Well, I think it's because of two things. One is the outreach to the community and the idea of connecting police officers directly with the citizens they police so that they can establish trust and information will flow. And then the other thing is the proactive mentality of Commissioner Cox's administration to utilize things like CompStat and be very analytical about the crime that's occurring.
That's the shot spotter technology?
No,
I'm sorry.
No, CompStat is a meeting that's held bi-weekly in the police department to take a look at hotspots and to push the patrol force to have strategies in place at those locations to push the numbers down. Those things work. The connections and the analytical review of crime, where it's occurring, and how we can anticipate the next crime that's about to happen and stop it.
Ed, just a few weeks ago, I'm sure many of our viewers saw the video of a bike scooter mob taking over I-93. Dozens, and there have been other cases where sometimes it's hundreds of young people on bikes and scooters, and it's terrifying if you encounter that, and there doesn't seem to be a lot the police can do about it. What do you think should be done about it?
I think we have to be very tough on that. I hearken back to the days where that would not have been accepted. The problem that we have right now is the public support for the police. The police are afraid to take strong action against those groups because they don't feel that the public wants that. And when you add to that the court decisions that come down that are supportive of more disorder or sort of being very
lenient?
Lenient, easy on crime, giving everybody a second chance. That's fine to a point, and I don't discourage those points. But you need to have really strong judges that understand what those individuals are doing to the rest of the community. It's okay to talk about loitering and the people who are stopped at intersections taking money or the bikes from a position in a rural town or a suburb where you don't have to deal with it. But if it's outside your door, and I dare say the Supreme Court might have a different opinion of this if it was happening on their front doorstep. And those are the people I care about. It's the people in the city that have to put up with this disorder. Judge Kelly addressed it in New York. It made a big difference when they went after it. And I think we have to get serious about that. Courts, the community, and then the police.
Well, the governor appoints the judges. What's your message briefly to her and whoever would succeed her about what they need to do?
I really believe, and I was just having a conversation about this with a criminal justice expert, judges like Bob Barton, who was a Superior Court judge in Massachusetts who passed away a couple of years ago, he was a good model of what a no-nonsense judge is all about. He was fair, he was just, but he also wouldn't deal with some of the silliness that we see out there. And that's what we need. We need sober, intelligent people that are paying attention to these problems.
Ed, so much more we could get into. Our time is up, but thank you so much for being here and for your work here at WBZ. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate that. Always a pleasure. Thanks, John.
Good to see you.